Does Jimmy Garoppolo get the credit he deserves for the Niners' success? Deebo Samuel and Kyle Shanahan have takes, and we're going to share them with you. Joe Burrow, ready for a sure to be very loud Arrowhead crowd. Should KC be worried about Burrow's Bengals? Slow your roll there, Nick. We're going to have a full discussion about it. And Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes in the same division? Explain why it's a very, very good possibility on this Friday morning. Hi, everyone. Welcome to First Things First. Jenna Wolfe, Nick Wright, Chris Broussard, Kevin Wildes. Nick, will the dynasty be in doubt if Rodgers heads west to Denver?
Stop with the dynasty, Wild. The dynasty's been going. Jenna, let's have Aaron Rodgers win a playoff game in the last couple of years before we start talking about him threatening Mahomes. Just win a playoff game. How about
just so I'm clear, nobody liked my intro teases this morning. Everyone had issue with them. We're going to try
liked them all, Jenna.
On Saturday.
Wildes is in a sour mood. Wildes in a sour mood because Mac Jones about to be replaced by Jameis. Pay no attention to him. Go ahead, Jenna.
Let's get him in a good mood. Niners Rams Sunday on Fox. Matt Stafford's coming in red hot. Jimmy Garoppolo is not. But we all know Jimmy G's actual stats don't equal his actual wins. Call it the burden and the blessing of being a quarterback's wins guy. All he needs, though, one more for a trip back to the Super Bowl. Both teams stacked with top-tier talent on both sides of the ball. All right, guys, the stage is set. Start with you, Chris Broussard. Who wins on Sunday, Niners or Rams? Let's go.
Jenna, as much as I like Jimmy G, and much as I would love to see the 49ers win solely so that Nick Wright will have to go on national television and apologize to Jimmy G and give him his props.
I would not, though.
I'm going with the Rams. I am going with the Rams. I think they're the better team. As simple as that. And to use Nick's formula from last week when he picked the Chiefs over the Bills, they got the better quarterback by a nice margin. Matthew Stafford over my man Jimmy G. Yeah. All right? They got the better receiving core. They got the best defensive player on the field, Aaron Donald. The best cornerback in Jalen Ramsey. Call the coaching a wash if you want to. They are the better team. And just a few weeks ago, I know they lost to the Niners, but they were beating them up pretty good in the first half, up 17-3 at the half. They just let their foot off the gas. McVay even said it. He got too conservative in his play call, and I think this time they'll keep their foot on the gas. I'm not predicting a blowout, but I think they'll win the game. And that defense, one of the main things that's convinced me, for all the good that they have on offense, the defense looks like, in the playoffs, the defense from a year ago. We've been waiting for that defense all year. Last year, best defense in the league. This year, middle of the pack. But come playoff time, they have been absolutely phenomenal against the run. And we know that's what the Niners want to do. They've given up less than 60 yards a game rushing against Tampa Bay and Arizona. They've held those two teams to 19 points on average. Those are two high-scoring teams. So the defense is back. Von Miller is back to Pro Bowl form. So, and here's the last thing. Stafford, he's played clean. He gave up 4 interceptions and 2 losses to the to the Niners this season. But he's been clean in the playoffs. But beyond that, they are playing for, as much as they want to win the Super Bowl and get there. And that's the main thing. Nick, they also have a little bit of extra motivation because you know that the Rams hate the perception that they are owned by the 49ers. And the reality, to be honest, to this point, they've lost six straight to them. They have been. And that is an extra drive for them to go out beyond just getting to the Super Bowl and get rid of that. You think Aaron Donald likes the fact that it's a feeling that they get brutalized and manhandled and out-physicaled by the Niners?
Here's the thing. I don't think they liked it a few weeks ago when they could have ended the Niners season. And instead, Sean McVay teams that had been 45-0 when leading at halftime blew a 17-3 halftime lead. And then 2 weeks later, they're up 24 in a playoff game and did everything they could to lose that game. So when I do the tale of the tape here, Broussard, obviously the Rams have the better quarterback. And someone will be like, and the Rams are at home. Not really. Niners going to have more fans there.
Yeah,
the Rams don't have a home field. We know that.
Okay.
I don't think coaching is a push. I think coaching is a significant edge to the 49ers, not just because Shanahan has owned McVay, but because, and I don't know why the game broadcasts, I think Joe and Troy will get this, but whenever I see them on like Sunday Night Football, Monday Night Football, when Sean McVay is punting on 4th and 1, the announcer's always like, oh, wouldn't expect that from Sean McVay. Yes, you would. The Rams were 31 out of 32 in aggressiveness this season. He is uber conservative,
That's not very
and that
impressive.
will hurt them. Getting Cam Akers back has actually not been a benefit because he has acted like this is the Cam Akers from before the injury. He has 41 carries for 105 yards. That's 205 yards per carry. So, Wilds, I am going with the Niners here. And I'm going with the Niners.
What?
Despite their quarterback.
Wow.
And I am going with the Niners. Let me add one other thing.
What?
Because you know
Yeah,
I
go.
What?
the Niners are the better team, guys. They're the better team. Jimmy G just played in a game where his team was up against Aaron Rodgers. He's not better than Aaron Rodgers. They won that game. That was one of the best defensive performances, by the way, any teams put together all year. One last point, Wilds, as far as why I think the massive quarterbacking edge won't be as massive this weekend. So Matt Stafford has gone back-to-back games without throwing a pick. You have to go all the way back to September of 2019 for the last time Stafford went 3 straight games without throwing an interception. So I think that train is coming down the tracks. Conversely, Jimmy Garoppolo has gone back-to-back games with no touchdowns, back-to-back games under 200 yards. At no point in his career has Jimmy G had 3 straight 0-touchdown games. At no point in his career has he had 3 straight sub-200-yard games. So I expect Jimmy G to throw a touchdown, something he hasn't done yet this postseason. I expect Matt Stafford to throw an interception, something he hasn't yet done this postseason. And so I think that because I don't think we're going to get a horrific Jimmy G performance, I think the Niners are better coached. I think their overall defense is better. I think they'll have the home field. I think the Niners are going back to the Super Bowl.
Okay, so when you're sitting on your couch, Nick, I just want to dig into your pick.
Yeah.
Are you going to say, you know what? Let's go, Jimmy G. I'm pulling for you, Jimmy G. I believe in you, Jimmy G. Will you give your heart over,
I won't
like many
believe in
people
you.
across the country have, to Jimmy G?
You do.
Because you have to be pulling for
because
Jimmy G. You have to believe in
guys,
Jimmy G.
we can't. No. I don't have to believe in Jimmy Garoppolo to believe the Niners can win this football game. I had the Niners +6 last week. I didn't believe in Jimmy Garoppolo better than Aaron Rodgers, even though Rodgers was quite bad in that football game. We can't talk about how football's all 3 phases. How the Packers lost because their special teams sucked. We can't give so much focus to coaching searches. And oh my God, this team's losing a coordinator. And oh my God, look at this team's offensive line. And then boil every game down to who has the better quarterback. Now, is that the most important factor in most football games? Yes. Is that the deciding factor in all football games? No. I would argue the Niners have beaten 2 teams this postseason, Broussard, who clearly have better quarterbacks. Dak is clearly better than Jimmy. Aaron Rodgers is clearly better than Jimmy. And yet the Niners have gone on the road, far tougher environments than one they're about to face right now, LA, which is basically a neutral site, and won those football games.
What you're doing, Nick, is admitting that Wilds and me have been right in this Jimmy G discussion over the past month that we've had with you. Because, look, we did not come on here and say he's a top 5 quarterback. We did not say he should have been in the Pro Bowl. We said he's a winner and you can win with him. That's all. And you are admitting that you can win at just about the highest level. The highest level with Jimmy
Despite
G.
him. Not with, despite.
No,
wrong clause.
You can't think he's that
wrong
bad.
joining word.
You can't think he's that
I do.
bad. He's gonna beat Dallas, Green Bay, and the Rams, and you think he's horrible? That doesn't even make sense.
I think he's the 18th best quarterback in football, or the 14th worst, however you want to do it. Like, I've got a list for you later in the show. I think he is a below-average NFL quarterback. I think there are 15 guys that even you guys would take over him in a heartbeat. However, this is about what the Niners have built. This is about that defensive front. This is about what DeMeco Ryans is doing. And this is about Kyle Shanahan, who, unless he has a huge lead late, is one of the best coaches in football. Now, I don't think they'll have a huge lead late, so I don't think they're going to have to worry about that. I believe in the Niners. I believe in the Niners. I picked them against the number against Dallas. I picked them against the number against the Packers. I'm picking them against the number and outright against the Rams, Jenna.
Okay. All right. Nick says the Niners will win, not with Jimmy B, but despite him. Also, his name is Jimmy G, so that makes it much better. Talk some Aaron Rodgers. Could he be headed west to Denver? And would that put a dent in the Chiefs' dynasty? We are full of surprises on a Friday morning. On Sunday, the NFC Championship presented by Intuit TurboTax Live is on Fox. We got a nice one between division rivals Jimmy Garoppolo and the 49ers taking on Matthew Stafford and the Rams for a trip to Super Bowl 56. It all kicks off 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific, only on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Jamming on the one, whoever's whistling. Taking on Aaron Rodgers now. Let's talk about it. He's got some decisions to make. Well, look, really, he's got one decision. Stay in Green Bay or don't stay in Green Bay. Should he choose to leave, there is a city 1,000 miles west that could be an option. I know because I Googled it. Yesterday, the Broncos hired now former Packers offensive coordinator Nathaniel Hackett as their next head coach. Fox Bet says the Broncos and Chiefs would be AFC West co-favorites if Rodgers joins Hackett out in Denver. So, Nick, should Chiefs fans be worried of Rodgers winding up with the Broncos?
I hope the audience can see the disgust on my face at the premise of this question.
Why?
Dude, does everyone not understand that we're doing this backwards? The question should be, and this is not Jenna's fault. Jenna argued this before the show and got vetoed by the charlatans we work with and our producers. The question should be, why would Aaron Rodgers want to dare to join Patrick Mahomes' division? That should be the question. If Aaron Rodgers is in the Super Bowl winning business, why would he go to the worst possible division in order to be able to win Super Bowls? Let me just tell America something real quick. Forget stats, forget numbers, forget start to career, all of that. In the last 10 years, Broussard, Patrick Mahomes has won more playoff games than Aaron Rodgers, which is very interesting because that starts when Patrick Mahomes was a freshman in high school. So Rodgers in the league, playing with Randall Cobb and Greg Jennings and Donald Driver, playing games at Lambeau Field. Patrick Mahomes, meanwhile, is like, hey, Mom, can you pick me up from practice? Meanwhile, he's already caught up to him, past him. If we just go from the start of their career, Rodgers' full career, so include the Super Bowl run, 3 weeks from now, the total career playoff victories will be Rodgers 11, Mahomes 10. He's almost caught him for their careers, and Rodgers had, a 10-year head start. So no, Mahomes and the Chiefs shouldn't be nervous. Rodgers should be reconsidering how much he does or doesn't love Nathaniel Hackett and how much he likes life, where the second best quarterback is Kirk Cousins in the division versus the best quarterback that isn't Aaron Rodgers in the division is Patrick Mahomes. So nervous. It's an insulting question.
Look, I'm not mad at you, Nick. I'm not mad at you. Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league, and obviously your stats were really eye-popping. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is afraid to go to the AFC and compete with not just Mahomes, but Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, so on and so forth. But I think as an observer looking at it, knowing all he's playing for is to get to the Super Bowl, you're right. You say, why would you go to the AFC, particularly that division, rather than stay in the NFC and run over your division every single year. So I'm with you on that. But here's what I'd say. And look, I think the Chiefs going to win the Super Bowl. So if you do that, you've won 2 Super Bowls in the last 3 years. You fear no one. All right, bring it on, Aaron Rodgers, if you want to come out in these streets. That's fine. But here's what I say to you, Nick, and Chiefs fans. Look, I think Mahomes is going to be Michael Jordan-esque. But that doesn't mean he's going to win the Super Bowl every year or even get there. This is football.
Of course.
Tom Brady went a decade without winning a Super Bowl, and he's now got 7. So there's only been, Nick, if the Chiefs get to the Super Bowl, win it or lose it, they will have been to 3 straight. Only one time in the history of the NFL has a team made 4 straight Super Bowls, and that was Buffalo with Jim Kelly, and they lost all 4. So they had maybe a little extra motivation to keep getting back to try to win, and they lost all 4. So just even as great as Mahomes is, as great as the Chiefs may be, just the history tells you, well, they're not going to make the Super Bowl every year. And Denver with Aaron Rodgers, Nick, will be a legitimate contender if this happens. They got the great receiving core with him. God knows if they bring Devontae Adams. Nice running game. I love Javonte Williams. Obviously, the great defense. We'll see if they keep that up. And so with Aaron Rodgers, I think they are a top contender in the AFC. And if the Chiefs follow history, Wilds, and don't get back to a 4th straight Super Bowl, then Denver's got as much of a chance, if not more, than anybody else in that conference of getting there.
Of course. And that's why Chiefs fans should be nervous. And for all of Nick Wright's bluster about how he wouldn't be nervous with the 2-time back-to-back MVP coming in to your conference, Nick, you would be nervous if there were 2 Hornets in your house. Guys, stop the show. Why, Nick? There's 2 Hornets here. They're buzzing around upstairs. Of course, Aaron Rodgers would present a bigger threat. The Broncos have $44 million in cap space. They've got the 9th pick. They gave up the 3rd fewest points this season. You add Aaron Rodgers? Yeah, I think he would be nervous. Do I think he should go there? No, I still think he should go to Pittsburgh because Mike Tomlin is proven that he's not going to lose, and we don't know about Green Bay's offensive coordinator as a head coach. But the idea that Aaron Rodgers is some sort of chump when you guys have been beating up on this list of quarterbacks since Peyton Manning. Trevor Siemian, Paxton Lynch, Brock Osweiler. Remember, Kendall Hinton got a start, Teddy Bridgewater. You should be afraid of Aaron Rodgers.
No, hold on a second. I did not say he's a chump. And obviously, the upgrade from Drew Lock / Teddy Bridgewater to Aaron Rodgers is enormous. But if you've got a grizzly bear fighting a Tyrannosaurus Rex, it is a little offensive to the Tyrannosaurus Rex to say, should he be afraid of the grizzly bear? It's like, well, you used to be fighting.
T-Rex should win MVP then.
I'm sorry.
Win MVP.
So by the way,
win MVP.
So you think I'm just curious, you think Rodgers' last 2 MVPs are going to age well? You like those? You think right now that if we had any type of ability to look at postseason performance, he'd still win them? Because I don't. Call me crazy. I don't think anyone's given him last year's over Brady. I don't think anyone's given him this year over Mahomes or maybe even Josh Allen. But call me nuts. Those MVPs are going to age like fine wine left outside. So don't get the idea. Of course, the Broncos are going to be better if they add Aaron Rodgers as opposed to the awful quarterback situation they've had. But that should not. It is everyone chasing the Chiefs, not the Chiefs reacting to a move the Broncos make when the Broncos. Have the Broncos ever beaten Patrick Mahomes? Let me check. No, never. So how about you beat him once, and then we'll see if we get nervous. You beat him once. I would like you to beat him one time and see, first game ever of his career, he beat him with a left-handed pass, beats him every year, so stop it. Nervous. Go to Pittsburgh anyway. Have a better chance there.
Neither the Denver Broncos nor Aaron Rodgers are playing this weekend. This guy is, Jimmy G. Is he getting the credit he deserves with the Niners 1 win away from the Super Bowl? Toss that around next. First things first. Let's Let's talk some Jimmy G, guys, as he gets set to face the Rams in the NFC title game Sunday. So, big debate all season, right? Whether Garoppolo is driving the Niners bus or simply riding shotgun. Well, just the fact that narrative is out there has got Garoppolo's teammates coming to his defense. Deebo Samuel, the latest, tweeting, "It's crazy how y'all have so much to say about our quarterback. Check his win percentage." Okay, I'll wait. Pure
Only
winner.
thing you can check.
And I feel like that was for you, Nick.
Deebo
Head
telling
coach
it
Kyle
like
Shanahan
it is.
was asked about the 49ers defending their quarterback. Take a listen.
It shows what our guys think of them. I mean, and it also shows our guys probably are on social media because they probably feel a need to stick up for him. So social media probably hasn't been that great. So I'm glad they're sticking up for him because what they say is the truth. I mean, Jimmy is one of the main reasons we're here. He's done an unbelievable job. People don't give him enough credit. We win as a team, and that's why he doesn't always have the same stats as some of these MVP candidates have and stuff. But Jimmy's a very good quarterback, and he doesn't worry about any of that stuff.
That's why I can't wait to get rid of it.
Super Bowl.
Yeah, thank you, Jenna.
It's said it. Yep. Super Bowl champ Greg Jennings joining us now. Greg, so you think Deebo and Shanahan are right that Jimmy G's just a winner regardless of his stats?
They are right. He is a winner. That's fact. However, the more I heard Kyle Shanahan, the more I kind of chuckled on the inside because this is something that we all would say. Let me just roll it out a couple different ways. So for one, I've been in this position. When I signed with the Minnesota Vikings, my quarterback was Christian Ponder. And what did I say to the media? I said, "Oh man, Christian is amazing. Christian has all the skill sets. He can throw the ball. He can run the ball. He's athletic.
He's winner.
Smart. He's all these things." Now, obviously, Christian Ponder isn't Jimmy Garoppolo because he didn't have the win percentage. But he had all the tools. They just weren't displayed week in and week out. But we saw him at practice, and I was defending him because he was my guy. This is like my kids. I have 4 kids. My oldest, she kind of talks, but she's not a fighter. She's a lover. But my second, Aaliyah, she's a gymnast. She's fiery. She has spice about her. And I tell her often, like, Aaliyah, if anything were to happen, you go and defend your sister. Why? Because I know, just like Jimmy Garoppolo, he's not going to defend himself. Because when you have someone who you know can't fight, you're going to have a support system set up to where they fight for you. This is Deebo. This is Kyle. They're all fighting for him because they know in their heart of hearts, Deebo, this is his only quarterback. He entered into the league. This is his 3rd year. It's like, this is my guy. That's all he knows. He better say this is my guy. Yes, I would say this is my guy. If I was with Jimmy right now, he's my guy. I love him. Yeah. But do I see other quarterbacks across the league? Have I surveyed everybody else? Am I considering, man, but if I had him, yes. That's why we don't know. Is Jimmy Garoppolo going to be the future of the 49ers? Kyle Shanahan controls that.
No.
But right now he's going to defend them because he's put them in a position where they have an opportunity to potentially compete for a Super Bowl and win it. That is the truth.
Greg, listen, America, I know I've gotten a lot of tweets like, how can you still have Greg on the show after his just historically bad Bills prediction over the Chiefs? These are the moments. This is why. Because he comes on and totally redeems himself. Now, your oldest daughter, I do think you have to buy something nice for because I think you might have just compared her to Jimmy Garoppolo unintentionally. So if she sees this, I think it's going to cost you some money. But aside from that, that is exactly right. The question is, Broussard, does he not get enough credit? I'm going to go in the opposite direction. I think he clearly gets way too much credit. And it started even before he was a Niner. People were like, oh my God, Jimmy G went 2-0 starting for Brady. Nah, not really, kind of. But that second game he got hurt in, and guess what? Then Jacoby Brissett came in, and they kept winning. It's like, but we go back to his first year with the Niners. The Niners were this terrible team. Then Jimmy G gets there, and they win 5 straight. You said this yesterday. And I was like, you know what? I do remember that. And I remember there being something interesting about those 5 games. And it wasn't that He threw 6 touchdowns and 5 picks in those amazing 5 games. Here's what was interesting about those 5 games. The winning streak started his Niners career. I'll tell you, Mitch Trubisky, TJ Yates, Marcus Mariota, Blake Bortles, Sean Mannion. You might say, Nick, is that a list of the 5 worst quarterbacks in football that year? Maybe. But it's also the list of the 5 quarterbacks Jimmy Garoppolo valiantly beat when he was turning the Niners franchise around. So he has always been some people, and we all know someone like this. And also, by the way, they're usually male, they're usually tall, they're usually handsome. Who it's like, my God, the guy's just lucky everywhere he goes. Walks down the street, finds some money, loses his job, gets hired by a better place, gets pulled over by the cops, and they're like, you know what? You have the same middle name as my son. You just go on, sir. And it's like, hey, how does he do it? And that is just who Jimmy G is and what his career in the NFL has been. We know that he's not very good. We know that the only way to defend him, there's no fancy metric. It's just winning percentage. And so therefore it's like, well, that's all that matters. But we also know there are around 20 quarterbacks in the NFL who could be the quarterback for the Niners, and they would be as good or better, which means that's why the Niners traded 3 first-round picks to move on from him. That's why this conversation persists, Broussard.
All right, no, enough. Because first of all, Nick, you let the cat out of the bag in the first segment when you picked the Niners to beat the LA Rams. You believe.
Despite him.
I get it. You've gone down this anti-Jimmy G road so far that you can't turn back.
Exactly.
But you believe. All right, so enough of that. Now, Greg, and your little Sean Mannion and whoever the rest of those quarterbacks were.
Blake Bortles, TJ Yates.
Beat Dak. Yeah. He beat Dak Prescott and Aaron Rodgers this year in the playoffs. So what does that mean? So you can't say he only beats bad quarterbacks. And Greg, I hear you. Obviously, you're going to say, oh, yeah, I totally believe in this guy because he's your quarterback and you're going into the NFC title. But I don't think that Shanahan and Debo are saying this just because he's their guy or because he's cool and everybody likes him in the locker room and he's handsome and all that. That's not why they're saying it. They're saying it because they believe it. And again, he's not Aaron Rodgers. He's not a top 5 quarterback. But do they believe he's a winner? Do they believe he's a difference maker? Even if largely his difference making is his leadership, his personality, his ability to get these guys to believe, his late game play, which is big. They've seen it. They saw it. They've seen it, in fact, against 2 of the other 3 teams that are still standing. They saw him lead a game-winning drive against Joe Burrow and the Bengals. They saw him do it against this very Rams team that they faced, going 8 for 10, 133 yards and a touchdown in fourth quarter and overtime. So they know, and Nick, you dismiss the 1-10 in 2017 under the genius Kyle Shanahan, and then they won 5 straight games when Jimmy G got there. Greg, you know this. What were the Niners thinking when they're down, when they're 1-10? How motivated? I get it that you're playing for your next team or employer or so you can continue your contract, whatever. But still, those guys had to be down in the doldrums, can't wait till the season is over, and Jimmy G steps in there and gives them life. And they win 5 straight, and Kyle Shanahan, we know he has a huge say in San Francisco. He was a part of that group that said, him and John Lynch, look, let's make Jimmy G the highest paid quarterback in NFL history after just 5 games. So they believe in him. Look, Jimmy G has 2 problems. One, he's hurt all the time, which I believe is the main reason, Wilds, that they went and got Trey Lance or whoever they were going to pick. If it wasn't even Trey Lance, they knew they can't count on Jimmy G's health. And secondly, he does think he can make every throw. So sometimes that leads to bad decisions and risky plays and interceptions that are untimely. But Jimmy G has proven he's a winner, and Debo and Shanahan are absolutely right and sincere.
Okay. So see, that's the thing. I want to focus on that, Broussard. Greg, I think Debo is being sincere. I think Kittle is sincere when he gets up on the podium and says, what more can you say about that guy? Last year, I know you said nice things about Christian Ponder, but I went through your entire Instagram and I never saw you with a Christian Ponder shirt. Now, maybe you have it at home, you choose not to wear it. But I think these guys are sincere. And this is what I want to dig into, Greg. There seems to be a vast difference in how we analyze a game prior to the game and how we talk about champions after they're champions. Now, after a team has won the championship, whether it's the post-game conference, whether it's a documentary, whatever it is, everyone will say, you know what the main factor was? This team pulled for each other. This team believed in each other. We were all headed in the same direction. We were a special team. But before the game, when we're trying to analyze what will make a champion, we're like, well, when you look at the yards per pass and attempted blah, blah, we never talk about it because it seems fuzzy. It seems just like a lame thing to do to analyze prior to a game. But the Jimmy G problem is bringing that kind of chemistry to the forefront, and that's what I think people are having a hard time. Me, I'm a winning percentage guy because I've seen all those documentaries and everybody talks about winning and chemistry and unity, and that's what it seems like the 49ers have. So do you buy that maybe that is what Jimmy G has that's not showing up on the stat sheet that makes him special?
I buy it to a certain degree, but I'm not going to put my wallet and everything that I have in my bank account on the line for it. That's not what I'm going to do. And the reason why is, let me explain. So when I was in Green Bay,
here we go.
We had a great defense, right? We had Charles Woodson, we had Nick Collins, B.J. Raji, Clay Matthews, A.J. Hall, all these great players. But there were moments as an offense where we would be on the sideline before they really brought it all together, and we'd be like, man, if our defense played like that, or if we had this, we weren't trying to substitute those individual players per se, but collectively as a defense, it was like, what are we doing? I would love to play against our defense. This is why I say Jimmy Garoppolo, what they're saying is true, but they would not mind substituting him for another quarterback in an upgrade. That's Kyle Shanahan for sure, no doubt. If we look at the 4 quarterbacks remaining right now, neither one of you would take Jimmy Garoppolo over Joe Burrow, over Matthew Stafford, over Patrick Mahomes for sure. None of you. But his winning percentage is everything. Well, tell that to the Green Bay Packer fans and Aaron Rodgers, because his winning percentage is elite. But what has it gotten them over the last 10 years? It hasn't equated to what they ultimately want. And I think when you think about what Jimmy Garoppolo has done with a franchise that was kind of down in the dumps, yes, you get excited. I remember being in Minnesota and we were struggling with the revolving door quarterbacks, and then Josh Freeman comes through the door. They bring him in and we see him in practice and we're like, oh my goodness, we back. We got it. And then we get into the game and it's like, never mind. I mean, it's same old thing. He has some highlighted moments, but the result still ended up the way everybody kind of expected. We didn't win when it mattered. So I'm sorry, guys.
That's right. So I got Greg's 100% correct. I just have a very quick question for Wilds, because Wilds and Broussard are killing me for picking the Niners on this. Wilds, what's your favorite city in the world? What is the city you call the best city in the world?
Oh, well, I like Orlando, but also New York.
New York City. You say it all the time. When you say that, if I were to say, oh, Kevin Wilds loves high taxes, it's his favorite thing, would I be right? Or do you love New York despite the taxes? I think it's despite the taxes. I like the Niners. I think they're going to win. I think they're awesome. Does that mean I love Jimmy G? No. I love the Niners despite Jimmy G. It's the same situation. Greg compared Jimmy G to his oldest daughter. I compared him to a 12% city tax rate. So you know, people can pick their poison there. But I love him despite
digging into
the
their
taxes,
year end.
Jenna.
Nick, with his big metaphor, takes that segment at the very end, swooping in. All right, well, we'll
Thanks,
see.
Jenna.
I got a question for you. Yeah, what's more likely, Sunday at Arrowhead, a Chiefs blowout or a Bengals upset? First things first.
Let's go,
First things first, we're back here previewing the AFC title game. Bengals Chiefs, first ever meeting between these two franchises in the playoffs. They'll probably have to reintroduce themselves to each other. Kansas City is a touchdown favorite at home in this one, a record 13th straight playoff game in which the Chiefs have been the favorites. That is a lot. Broussard, here's a question. What's more likely, a Chiefs blowout or the Bengals just squeaking by?
Wow. Well, look, everybody knows I've got the Chiefs. I'm just not as obnoxious about it as some people on this show. But I'm going to go with the Bengals squeaking by because I don't think the Bengals can rout the Chiefs. I do think a rout by the Chiefs is possible. But if I go with that, then I'm giving the Bengals no chance. And I don't think this is a 100% lock for Kansas City. Obviously, the Bengals can beat them. They beat them a few weeks ago when the Chiefs did have something to play for, which was the number one seed in the AFC. So the key is pressure. If they don't get pressure, they should be able to get pressure on Joe Burrow. He's very good against the pressure as well. But if they don't, if he's sacked, if he's sacked fewer than 5 times or fewer than 6 times, then that's enough time for him to get the ball out. And people are focusing on Jamar Chase, which is understandable. He's awesome. He had almost 300 yards receiving against the Chiefs last time they played. But they got other good receivers. Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins, Joe Mixon can catch the ball out of the backfield. So this offense, I think, keeps them from being routed. So, yeah, I give them a chance to win. They're on a 5-game win streak against great, 5 games when their starters play wilds. They didn't play them against the Browns last season, game of the season. But they beaten Tennessee, the Raiders, the Chiefs, Denver, I believe. So they beaten some really good teams in that 5-game win streak. So they're for real. I think it's more likely they squeak by than they get routed.
I do not sleep on the Bengals. This is going to be what I am deeming a dentist
Kevin
game.
Wilds.
Here's what a dentist game is. Ever have something bothering you in your mouth and you're like, you know what? I know that was bothering me. I know that's an issue, but I'm going to ignore it for a while and maybe it will go away. And then kind of it does. Every once in a while it bothers you. And then all of a sudden you go to the dentist and say, you know what? You've got a rotten tooth there. We got to pull that guy out. Look at all of the teams. The things that bothered them a few months ago have reared their head once they went to the dentist office that is the playoffs. What was Dallas's downfall? Time management, clock management. How'd they lose? Clock management. How did Tampa Bay, what was Tampa Bay's one issue? The secondary, too many injuries. What happened? What doomed them? Oh, Matthew Stafford, secondary, easy. What was the one issue for Green Bay? Special teams. They were dead last in special teams. It did them in. And early on, I said, Nick, I don't know about this defense. I don't know about the Chiefs defense. You guys are giving up a lot of points. You said, no, that's not a cavity wilds. Just ignore it. Well, and I know you hate this stat, if you take the games against the Chargers and Cincy and Denver and the Bills, that defense is allowing 30 points. I took out the Steelers games, I admit, because the Steelers are actually better than a bye. So I took them out per your recommendation. I think that defense is a cavity in the Chiefs' mouth that might finally have to come out. I know Tyron wasn't there, but that's why I am nervous for the Chiefs.
No, it's very interesting. But just so you know, Wilds, I'm diagnosing from afar. That pain in your mouth was your mouth actually revolting against that terrible take. It's not a cavity. It was your mouth like, don't make me do it. I don't want to say this. You've been making me have these terrible Chiefs opinions all year. It's your mouth is revolting against you. So here's the deal. What's more likely is a blowout. Here's a quick question for the panel. 4 teams left. We can put everyone on the screen if you would, because I think they will just, affirm or negate with, visually. Of the 4 teams left this postseason, have the Chiefs been the most impressive? I think so. I think they have the best win. Their offense scored 42. Of the 4 teams, they've been the best. Of the 4 teams left this postseason, who's been the worst? Who's been the least impressive? Oh, it's the team that both of their wins against the Raiders and the Titans came down to the final play of the game. So, okay, so you have the most impressive team against least impressive team. Okay, so that's an interesting fact here. Another one. What is the one thing we know about this game? We know the Chiefs are going to score at least 30 points. Well, how do we know that? Well, Patrick Mahomes has played 10 playoff games, but really only 9 because the Browns game, he didn't play, he got injured very early in the second half. So throw that one out. Here are the Chiefs' points in those games. I can do it quickly. 31, 31, 51, 35, 31, 38, 9 in the Super Bowl, 42, 42. So the Super Bowl against the Todd Bowles defense, Tampa front, 5 new offensive linemen. I think that's probably not going to happen against a Bengals front that doesn't have those personnel and the Chiefs' offensive lines there. So what else do we know? Oh, how are the Chiefs going to respond to the emotions of this divisional round win versus how the Bengals are going to respond? Well, we have no context for how the Bengals will respond. Luckily, the Chiefs always play emotional divisional round games. 2 years ago, they're down 24-0 to the Texans, come all the way back and win. How do they respond? Oh, they scored 35 and blow out the Titans. Last year, they win a game where Patrick Mahomes gets hurt. Chad Henne. Anything is possible play. Final offensive play of the game. How do they respond there? Oh, they scored 38 on Buffalo. And then lastly, is Patrick Mahomes, we can show you the numbers now, is he the greatest playoff quarterback ever? Well, he's on pace to be. That's all-time rankings, but that's going to take a long time. Here's what won't take a long time. Is Patrick Mahomes having right now the greatest postseason run ever? The answer to that is yes. A 131 rating.
He's going to score. 9
total touchdowns. The one pick was a tip pass. Actually, more yards per rush than yards per pass. 440 yards per game. And Broussard, what's the competition he's done it against? Well, the Defensive Player of the Year plus Mike Tomlin was the first one. And the second one was the number 1 defense in football. So what's more likely? That team loses or that team blows the doors off the happy to be here Bengals? Guys. If this has 42-17 written all over.
No way.
Certainly more likely than the Chiefs losing. Oh, what's the no way there?
Right,
You think it's hard for them to score 42 again, like they did last week and the week before?
Everything you said, I agree with.
Is exactly
everything
right.
you said.
Yeah,
Their offense has been terrific, not just this year in the playoffs, but all the playoff games that Mahomes has played in. You're right. But you didn't address what Wild said. What about the other side of the ball? I mean, the Chiefs are going to win, I believe.
Care.
But they might win 42-36 like they did last week.
That's right.
They might, or something, whatever the final score was. They might win 42-38. Like, are they going to stop the Bengals? That's the thing. And I don't know, that defense has been leaky in the last month. And plus, there's no doubt about it. We saw
we're officially.
So that's the thing.
You guys have doubted me on the Chiefs are back.
I think it's going to be
but now we are
good
back.
game. It's going to be a good game. It's going
now
to be
we're back.
Well,
the only
here's
thing is
why.
like, of course, the offense going to score 40.
At the end of
might
the
lose
day,
anyway.
Welcome back. Stories to start your morning. Sponsored by Ram Trucks, built to serve. And we are talking Jimmy Garoppolo as he gets set to face the Rams in the NFC title game on Sunday. Big debate all season whether Garoppolo is the reason the Niners are here or whether the Niners are here despite Garoppolo. And that has his teammates incensed. Deebo Samuel tweeting, "Crazy how y'all have so much to say about our quarterback. Check his win percentage. I'll wait. Pure winner." Head coach Kyle Shanahan piling on. Take a listen to this.
It shows what our guys think of him. I mean, and it also shows our guys probably are on social media because they probably feel a need to stick up for him. So social media probably hasn't been that great. So I'm glad they're sticking up for him because what they say is the truth. I mean, Jimmy is one of the main reasons we're here. He's done an unbelievable job. People don't give him enough credit. We win as a team, and that's why he doesn't always have the same stats as some of these MVP candidates have and stuff. But Jimmy's a very good quarterback, and he doesn't worry about any of that stuff.
Hey, Hey, Broussard, are Deebo and Shanahan right that Jimmy Garoppolo's just a winner regardless of statistics?
They're absolutely right, Jenna. There's no question about it. And look, a lot of people out there are thinking, well, what else are they going to say? He's their quarterback. Of course they're going to say that. And I get that. But they're not saying this because it's the right thing to say or because, Jimmy G is so cool and everybody loves him in the locker room. He's handsome, this and that. They're saying it because it's true. And Nick, you know this. They don't have to do this. Like, the players could have just let all the talk be out there. Let Jimmy G catch all of this smoke. And it actually would be an excuse for them. So if they lose, you're not going to blame Deebo. You won't blame the defense. You won't blame George Kittle. You'll blame Jimmy G. They could have let it fester and be out there, but they didn't. They put it down because Deebo knows. Deebo's what's he done with Jimmy G? Been to a Super Bowl with him, made a Pro Bowl with him. He understands. He's seen Jimmy G lead them on 3 game-winning comebacks this season, including 2 against 2 of the other 3 teams that are left standing, including the very team that they are facing this weekend. And Kyle Shanahan, he remembers, as the genius he is, when they were 1-10 in 2017.
Yeah, he's better
and
than
Jimmy
Nick
G
Mullins.
steps in when the morale is low, when the players are looking at where they're going to go on vacation once the year's over.
Yeah.
In football, you don't want to play those last 5 games when you're
Trubisky
1-10.
And TJ Yates.
Well, if you want to bring up the bad quarterbacks he beat when he led them to 5-0, Nick,
Mannion.
okay, then also bring up Dak Prescott a couple weeks ago. Also bring up Aaron
0
Rodgers
touchdowns.
last week.
0
All right, so
touchdowns.
he won.
Yeah.
And Deebo and Shanahan did not say he should have made the Pro Bowl. They didn't say he's a future Hall of Famer. They didn't say he's a top 5 quarterback. They said he's a winner. And last thing, Nick, quickly, last thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it to you until it gets into that skull. The 49ers with Shanahan, the defense, Deebo, the great run game, the great receivers.
Because they had
8-28 can I say it? 8-28 when Jimmy G doesn't start. 37-15 when he does. That's a winner.
Good. Okay.
Sample size.
So, yes, he is better than Brian Hoyer, C.J. Beathard, and Nick Mullins. I agree with that. The problem is he's not better than more than half the starting quarterbacks in this league. I'll get to that in just a moment. I will listen to Deebo Samuel. I will not listen to Kyle Shanahan on this. Kyle Shanahan is a husband who goes on television and as holds a press conference, says how much he loves his wife, and the first question is, didn't you file for divorce 3 months ago? He's like, well, yeah, I did. I mean, obviously, I don't think it can work, but I love her. She's great. Shut up. That's ridiculous. You had the 12th pick of the draft. By the way, that's the pick. Micah Parsons went 12. You think he would have looked good in San Francisco this year? You had corners available. You think they would have liked them? Instead, they traded the 12th pick, a 3rd-round pick, next year's first, and the next first, because they couldn't wait to get away from Jimmy Garoppolo. Because Shanahan knows they are winning despite him. NFL, post-merger NFL history, quarterbacks with a playoff history, guys with, as many wins as Jimmy Garoppolo. He has the 4th worst passer rating and the very worst touchdown interception ratio. So, guys, I guess the question is, what is good enough? Because he is barely one of the 20 best quarterbacks in football. There's only 32 of them. Here, and I'll prove it to you. Wilds, here's 13 guys that even you and Broussard will give me no pushback. Every single guy on this list is better than him. That's 13. Now, there's a group of guys that he is on the exact same caliber at. Kirk Cousins, Derek Carr, Carson Wentz, Baker Mayfield. Jimmy Garoppolo, those 5, pick where you want them. Do you know at least 2 of the rookies, who I didn't include any of them, next year are going to take a jump, right? So Jimmy Garoppolo is what? The 18th best quarterback in football? Congrats, buddy.
Or maybe the 14th. Or maybe the 14th.
Okay.
I mean, maybe
you can argue.
Maybe the 14th. Somewhere in there.
So his best case scenario is he's the 14th best guy. And y'all are caping for him like he doesn't have fewer touchdown passes since Christmas than Trey Lance and Travis Kelce. Like, what are we talking about? We've watched the games, Wilds. We've watched them.
I get it. Totally get it. So what happens if the 18th best quarterback in the NFL wins the Super Bowl? What if he wins this weekend, goes on and wins the Super Bowl, which he was a pass away from?
What happened when
By the
Nick
way,
Foles did
Jimmy
it?
G doesn't play defense either. Jimmy G didn't let Patrick Mahomes score all those points. So what happens? Would you bring Jimmy G back, or are you so committed to Trey Lance that you're like, you know what, we're going to say goodbye. What if he plays well in the Super Bowl? We're going to say goodbye to Super Bowl MVP. What would you do?
Nick Foles won Super Bowl MVP. See ya, you're not good enough. Jared Goff went to a Super Bowl. See ya, you're not good enough. Jimmy G went to a Super Bowl. Jimmy G. Broussard was 15 months removed from going to a Super Bowl when the Niners traded for Trey Lance. Did they not know it happened? They still knew he's not good enough.
All right, they didn't trade Jared Goff immediately after the Super Bowl. And in Philadelphia's case with Nick Foles, Carson Wentz had led them through the first 13 games, so they thought he was going to be great. So those are understandable. I don't think if Jimmy G gets to the Super Bowl, you keep him. But if he wins it, he's got a year left on his deal. Maybe you keep him. But Nick, you're throwing out revisionist history. Because this is in my belief, the main reason that they traded up to get a quarterback in the draft was because Jimmy G gets hurt too much. You cannot count on his injuries. He does have another problem. He thinks he can make every throw, so that leads to some risky, bad decisions that come back to bite him. I'll give you that. But his main problem, Nick, is injuries. And I think if he had played every single game since he's been in San Francisco, or 98% of them, they don't even go get Trey Lance a year ago.
I would maybe buy that if they had stayed at 12 and drafted a quarterback that fell to them. They were desperate to get off him. They had to move up. And he's
hurt all the time.
In these 2 postseason victories, he has 0 touchdowns, 2 picks, and a 63 rating. They're winning despite him. And Jenna, they're going to win despite him again on Sunday. Niners Chiefs Super Bowl.
Here we go.
Let's go. Lock it in.
Sunday on
The proof
Listen to that
is in the
tape. We'll see you Monday.
You believe, Nick Wright.